I wanted to tell you this story that happened this morning, and it's really funny, Ruby. So my husband, he's a celiac, so he has to buy particular foods without gluten in them. I don't think you knew that, but anyway, I'm just saying. So certain foods like bread and sausage rolls are much harder because they're made out of wheat normally. So he goes to this supermarket, which is further away from us, and it's in quite a posh town. You know, it's quite a wealthy area. And he goes into this store, and he's only just got through the door with his trolley. And this old lady comes up behind him and bumps her trolley into him. so, so he turns around and he looks at her and he thinks, you better not say anything because she's probably just, made a mistake. So he wanders around the supermarket, and then he's picked up satsumas in the fruit section, and he's looking at them, and the same old lady comes up and bumps her trolley into him again. This time he said he could have got really annoyed because, like, why would someone deliberately bump their trolley into you? So he turns around to her and he says, excuse me, do you have eyesight problems? She just looks at him, and she's got a woolly bobble hat on because it's quite cold here at the minute, and she's got a mask on, so he can only see her eyes. And she's in her 70s, and she's obviously shorter than him. So she just stands there looking at him. So then he says, do you have a problem hearing? So she doesn't say respond, and then she says, this is what the people around me tell me to do. So he said, well, you should stop listening to the people around you. So he doesn't get annoyed, and then he realizes maybe it's a cry for attention. So he said, would you like me to read something off the top shelf for you? And she says, no, thank you. And that's the end of the story. She doesn't bump into him again.
Why would people tell her to bump into him?
Wow.
That was so weird. And why when she bumped into him, wouldn't she have said, excuse me? I mean, I certainly would have, if I rammed someone with my cart and not intentionally did it, I would say, excuse me. Now, if I was intentionally doing it, I would say, do it again.
This has come to, this came to my awareness because he came home and told me this story, and it's really funny. But the way I see it is, this is somebody who's obviously old enough to know better, and yet she's doing things that other people are telling her what to do. So in a way, she's handed over her personal power to the other people around her, and she listens to them instead of listening to what she should be doing herself, because everybody knows, that people tell you how to do things or what to do all the time, but you don't have to listen to them.
Exactly. And I wonder what their motive was, what they thought ramming a cart into someone else would do. What's the purpose of it? Why would they tell her to do that?
I wonder if she was practicing her new method of getting around the supermarket easier. Maybe all her life people haven't seen her or heard her or listened to her or respected her even. So she's decided, now I'm going to get some respect.
I'm going to get the attention at least, right? Seriously.
But yeah.
That's crazy. I love Andy's response though.
Yeah.
Eyesight problem.
I don't know.
It's funny.
I think this is society. I think society is a little bit mental at the minute.
Well, yeah. Well, let's be real. It's true because things have changed, and people do not like change, and so it's basically thrown everybody like a curveball, and they're like, "What do we do next? What's happening next?" what's gonna be, how's it gonna be, blah, blah, blah. And it's also isolated people. It's made us distant from each other and not being around each other.
Maybe it's that thing. Okay, if you behave like the people around you, then you get accepted, or you're raised to a level where you're part of their clique or their
Group.
gang.
Yeah, well, it's no different than like when you're in high school.
Yeah.
You had the jocks, you had the brains, you had the undesirables, so to speak, whatever it might have been, Bernies, whatever you want to call them. And depending on how you want it to be, that's the group that accepted you. And lots of times they wouldn't accept you because they didn't feel you were one of them.
Yeah.
So it starts at a very early age, does it not?
Yeah, it's like a form of it's like psychological programming, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a conditioning. You're conditioned to believe you're blah, blah, or blah, blah. And how many people have that negative self-talk? I know I did for years. Like even as simple as, oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, why did I do that? I knew better. Why did I do that? Just beating yourself up for no reason. Just because.
But you don't do that now, do you? I
mean,
no. You never do that.
No. Those are long ago days. Long ago days. I'm nowhere near the person I was back like in my 20s, 30s. Nowhere near. My friend even of 40 years even said to me, well, this was like back in like 2010, 2011. She said, whatever you did, I want it. She goes, you have totally changed. She said, you have totally changed. She goes, you are not the same person you used to be. And I really like it. Yeah. Which was probably one of the greatest compliments I ever could have gotten, because she knew me before. One of the very few people that knew me before and knew me after the change. And the change was all from doing spiritual work and going inner, into that inner self, into that inner space. But I always had it. I was like born with that unconditional love for everything. It's always been there. I call it my little like pilot light, like on a gas.
It's so rare, isn't it? It's difficult as well. I mean,
well, here's another good example of it is and that's what we do a lot, assume, and we should never assume, because we know what that means. We all know the saying, when you assume, it makes a ASS out of you and me. That's what assume spells out, right? But because I've always been that way, where I want to help people in any way I can. And if I can help them, I don't care who they are, I'm going to help them just as a human being to another. And I've heard this so many times in the past, like 2-3 years. You're way nicer than I am. And it's like, what? I mean, to me, that's like shocking, because I have always assumed that people felt the same way I did.
Yeah.
I mean, even though I knew there were a few that didn't, because, I've had experiences of it, but in general, I just felt. So when I hear that, it's like, yes, it should be a compliment to me, but at the same time, it's like, what? What do you mean you're not as nice as I am? You know what I mean? It's just like so weird to me. Or like my neighbor said to me the other day, oh, you're way more giving than me. I would have cut that person off a long time ago, type of thing. So, like I've got my limits. I'm a nice guy, but I got my limits. That's what he said to me. Yeah. So
yeah, you're right. But we're all here with our own different uniqueness, our own unique frequency, our own vibration. So
our own special
yours is
energy.
obviously
Pardon
Yeah,
me?
you're here to bring love.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's not by choice. It's not like I'm so special or anything. It's just, I came into this world like that. That is
Yeah.
why I'm here, really. And I realize that now, that I am here to express love to everything, to everyone and everyone, like sprinkle it and spread it as much as I can. And I do try. I give it my all without trying to be like a preaching or like, there she goes
Mm.
again with her love, love,
Yeah.
love, you know. Yeah, I try to make people see that it's an easier way. Like my neighbor that I was just talking about, he was complaining about, he was at Dunkin' Donuts the other day and he had a coupon and seriously, and he had a coupon and how they rung it up wrong. And he insisted that they ring it up right. And then another manager came over to help the guy that was waiting on him because he was getting so about his coupon. And so the lady got it like within 40 cents of his coupon. Well, that wasn't good enough for him. And so he's telling me this story, how mad he is about, these people at Dunkin' Donuts. And he goes, and this woman who I always thought was really nice, he goes, she wasn't really that nice. And I said, yeah, but did you ever look at it from her point of view? And he goes, what do you mean? And I said, just what I said. I said, she's telling you she told him there's only two of us here.
Mm.
So they're understaffed like a lot of places right now. And he wants his 40 cents. It was like a 40 cents difference. Me, I would have just let it go. No biggie. 40 cents is what? What does 40 cents buy you these days? Nothing, really. It's not enough. It's not like $40. No, I would have been
Yeah.
arguing over 40, but not 40 cents. And then when she told me they only had two people working, that would have ended it for me. I would have
Yeah.
just let it go. And he goes, well, see my point. I have a coupon. I'm entitled to the coupon being right and paying the right amount. And
I
I said,
know. I know.
and so he's going on
Um,
about how this nice, who he thought was a nice lady, isn't such a nice lady. And I said, well, did it ever dawn on you that after dealing with people like you for the past 2 years now, she can't be nice anymore to people? She did, but seriously, I mean, they've turned her into this person because of the
mm,
stress. And I said, so then he goes, and this is the part that really killed me. He wasn't even grateful. So he goes, so then all of a sudden she goes, okay, $1.81, sir. He goes, what do you mean $1.81? That still wasn't good enough for him. She's giving it to him like super cheap just to get rid of him
mm.
and shut him up. And he's like indignant because it's not the right amount in his mind. It was just so crazy, the whole thing.
Who'd have thought that buying a donut would be so stressful?
Isn't that the truth?
The donut.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
So it's like you can see it from both sides, but this is
Mm,
what happens when you don't communicate, or when
mm.
you've got someone stressed and then they meet someone else that's stressed. And so it
Yeah.
just turns into this wah, wah, like Charlie Brown used to be wah, 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 wah. And neither person is hearing each other.
Yeah.
But I was amused by the fact that she goes, okay, sir, $1.81, just to get rid of him, get him out of here. We don't need this. It was just,
Yeah.
it was really a funny story. Yeah. But he was like, he had a coupon.
We're all like that about coupons.
I know, it's just great. But it just shows you how ridiculous we get, on
Yeah,
something that
it does.
in the grand scheme of things, does it even matter? I mean, really, is it really that big of a deal? And he just
No.
turned it into this colossal deal. And I'm sure there was probably a line of cars behind while he's going over his coupon and getting the right amount and whatever. But anyway, I was amused by it.
That is really funny.
Yeah. But it's always easier to see it too when you're on the outside looking in.
maybe the universe was telling him you should stop coming to Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, could be. Also telling him to be a little more flexible and not so like, this is right and I know it's right, so it's got to be this way type of attitude.
Life is sweet. Don't don't focus on the coupon.
Exactly. Hey, he didn't even need the coupon. He got it for $1.81. And then he's even upset about that. It's like, come on. When you said $1.81, you should have said, thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. So you given her the money and ran, you know? I mean, seriously. It's like, he still wasn't happy with getting it for $1.81. All about the coupon.
I'm going to remember that next time I have a coupon.
we people, we're such creatures of habit, you know. It's just, it's kind of funny. We have to laugh at ourselves, basically, is the bottom line. Yeah.